I just wanted to know, Senator, what you thought of President Obama's speech on Friday regarding NSA leaker Edward Snowden, and if you thought it went far enough.
I think it was certainly in the right direction, but there's more to do. There are three areas that I want to zero in on that get to the specifics that really go beyond the speech. The first is that I believe the government ought to be able to collect the information it needs when it needs it to protect our country at a dangerous time, but I do not believe that collecting these millions and millions of phone records on law-abiding Americans makes us more secure, and I think it undermines our liberties and our constitutional rights. So I want to close that program. Second, I believe it's time to close the backdoor search loophole in the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. This is the one that you see when the government legitimately targets a foreigner, and a lot of Americans have their records swept up in it. So I want to close that. And third, I want to go considerably further with respect to reforming the FISA court, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court, to make sure that there's genuine opportunities for the other side to state their case. Because right now it's the most one-sided court in America. And I also, now that we've talked about the NSA, would just like to commend the whole Beaver Nation TV programming. I think it's a great service that you're performing. And I was at the Civil War game here a couple of days ago, and I think it's a great thing for the community to have this program.
Okay. Fantastic.
Senator, this is Stop 7 of an 11-city tour. It's doing all kinds of town hall meetings. What are your end goals for these town hall meetings, and why do you do them?
Well, the most important part of the town hall meetings is to throw open the doors of government. We're a long way from Washington, D.C. There's certainly a lot of understandable frustration and anger about what goes on back there. And this is one way that I can really bring government, particularly the federal government, home and make sure that people know that their government is accessible to them.
Do you often take the ideas that you learn in the town hall meetings back with you to Washington, or do you just kind of put them in your back of your mind?
I do, in fact, to again bring it home to this campus and this community. Some of what I learned early on in terms of the development of nanotechnology, essentially the science of small stuff, is what I took from this community meetings and discussions very early on. I turned it into the legislation. I authored the 21st Century Nanotechnology Act, and that was a specific example of where I've been able to take what I've learned from these meetings in this community and help turn them into federal policy.
Okay, and then one last question. You mentioned a lot during the meeting about your trade. What is it about Oregon that you think specifically can help trade at the national level?
Well, we look to trade, of course, because we've got this geographic advantage with the Pacific Rim. We're so much closer than those parts of the country on the East Coast of the United States. And we have a long tradition originating essentially with the Japanese in some of the earliest discussions. And I just believe it's a huge potential market for our ag products, for our renewable energy products, for intellectual property areas where we lead. And I think it's a natural advantage for us. And that's why I've said, let's grow things here, let's make things here, and let's add value to them here and then ship them.
All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you for talking to us in Corvallis and as well as us today, and we really appreciate it.
Well, great to be on your program.
Thank you, everybody.